Hello everybody and welcome back. Lars here, back from vacation. I know I've been gone a little bit, but the good news is I had a great time. My niece got married, my one and only niece got married, and it was an absolutely amazing, awesome wedding. And yeah, went to Oregon, stayed with my dad, my stepmom, but also almost made it to the leaderboard. I am this close. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get started. We had Claydol, we quick switch in the Shadow Gardevoir, which is a bad lead turned into a bad swap because that Galarian Slowbro absolutely positively shuts down that Gardevoir. Not much we can do at all, right? So it's a risky swap, but it's always good to have both, you know? You should always be able to swap into both Pokemon. So there we go. We're going to go ahead. We're going to shield this one for sure. Like that. And then as soon as we can, they're going to wait for a second. We're going to go ahead and we're going to throw this Scorching Sands. So there it is. Throw it and quick swap out. They have an attack break, which is great news for us because, yeah, foul play isn't going to hurt us as much, obviously. And that Claydol that we have is going to come into play a little bit later. So there we go. We throw it. We're both down to one shield. They actually catch our foul play, which is fine. This was actually kind of a mistake on their part. Instead of facing Malamar v. Malamar, they probably should have just left, or instead of switching out, they probably should have just left Malamar in. I know they were trying to drain, our energy, but we return it and we swap in Claydol in order to, drain some of theirs. So now, go ahead, throw that foul play. They're down to 0 shields. Unfortunately, they have two. They're going to get 2 charge moves off before we can get 1. But guess what? Our HP says that we'll be able to hang on just a little bit. There we go. One more quick fast move, and that's it. So even if you have a bad lead, even if you have a bad switch and things aren't going your way, there is always a chance to turn it around, right? And that's where a lot of skill strategy comes into play, as well as counting, right? So here we go. We have a Galarian Slowking, super popular Pokemon for this league, as well as its brother or sister, right? Galarian Slowbro. So just a little tip for later, if you do see a Malamar and they swap to any of the Galarians, they're going to have its opposite, right? They're going to have, if they have a Galarian Slowking, they're probably going to have a Slowbro in the back as well. A really popular team, and it's, been fairly successful. So here we go. Throw in this Scorching Sands, which is what you need, by the way. Don't use any other charge moves. Claydol has a bunch of charge moves. In fact, if it weren't for its, limited fast moves, it would be a stellar open Great League Pokemon. Unfortunately, it falls a little short, although it is really bulky, which is great. But yeah, go ahead, make sure you have Scorching Sands, if only just to get that attack break, which is so helpful. So here we go. Go ahead. Here comes a V-Create. There we go. We get a last fast move in. It doesn't even matter. We win, and that's that. All right, so here we go. Claydol versus a Alolan Raichu. Great lead for us. They quick switch. We're going to bring in good old Malamar. Now, what you should do, what I made a mistake here, was I should have left Claydol in for one more fast move, just so that way that foul play would have killed their Pokemon. But you know what? In the end, it worked out. We were able to farm them down and get some energy. So here we go. We're going to go ahead. We're going to throw this foul play against this Alolan Raichu. And they do shield, which is great news for us. In comes Claydol, and they switch, so do we. And our Gardevoir, Shadow Gardevoir, not seeing a whole lot higher up. But you know what? It does the trick, and it does a great job. So here we go. Triple Axle. There it is. And at this point, we really want to conserve that last shield. Go ahead, let them do their thing. Luckily, we do get a few more fast moves off. Claydol is in, and at this point, it is officially over. Not much they can do, except for watch the Scorching Sands envelop poor little Raichu. So here we go. On to the next one. Let's go ahead and check it on out, see what's going on. But yeah, Claydol, Malamar, and Shadow Gardevoir. It seems like a fairly basic team, but trust me, there's a lot of little nuances and stuff. If you get it down, and honestly, it's not that bad. Next couple days, your ELO will soar, right? I started at 2,200. I'm at 2,600, and that took me 4 days. So yeah, you'll be good. Trust me, right? So here we go. Another lead. And should you find yourself with Claydol versus a Galarian Slowking about 90 to 95% of the time, they will try to charge up that Shadow Ball and bait you with the Surf. So be careful. You don't always have to shield. In fact, it's often better that you don't, because even though, Claydol is weak to Surf, guess what? It is super tanky. And so a lot of times they'll try to do that. So just be aware of it. Better just to, have a little damage done than eat that shield, because you want to save those shields, right? PvP 101, save the shields. So there we go. Throw this Scorching Sands. There it is. They shield, which is totally great news for us. They're down to 0 shields. We're bringing in Malamar. And the reason why is because Claydol, if it it takes a while to charge up a charge move. But once it is charged, you're always going to be golden if they don't have any shields, especially just because Scorching Sands and Shadow Ball covers a very, very large swath of the field, although the field isn't very large, with Psychic, but it still does a really good job. So always, always, always a good decision. It just takes a little bit to get that move going. So there we go. And now we're starting to experience, the higher up we go, the longer it's going to take. So another great lead in Alolan Raichu. They're going to go ahead. They're going to bring out Galarian Rapidash, which is a really, really, really common safe swap. A lot of people will swap to it, which is fine. They're going to throw 2 Body Slams versus Shadow Gardevoir. I usually shield the first, let the second one go, just to be safe. So there we go. Raichu is in. Go ahead, throw triple Axle here and put it almost out of its misery, and bring in Claydol. They're going to get a charge move off. And keep in mind, Alolan Raichu can know Grass Knot, although a lot of them don't. A lot of them will know Thunder Punch and Wild Charge. Some do know Grass Knot, but should you find yourself with a Claydol taking a Grass Knot to the face, it will not KO him. Remember, Alolan Raichu does not get stabbed, and so even though it is a very powerful, Pokemon, it still doesn't really do a good job against Claydol, just because Claydol is so dang bulky. So there we go. There's a victory dance, our little cowboy avatar. On to the next one. Checking on out. All right. A lot of times you'll see me entering then exiting. I'm not sure if it does help, but it seems to, find players quickly. If you guys have tried it, let me know. But I've been doing it. It works. At least I think it does, right? So, bad lead in Malamar. We quick switch to a Malamar of our own. We're going to go ahead. We're going to let them do their thing. Absolutely. There's a foul play. No problem. Go ahead. Throw this foul play. Should you find yourself Malamar v. Malamar, you know what? It's going to take three charge moves, or depending on where you are, in order to take that Malamar down, just because after 2 foul plays, they're going to have a little sliver of HP left. And in this case, they swapped out the last minute. That Malamar does have a charge move ready, so be aware, right? You always have to keep that in the back of your mind. So just always make sure and plan accordingly. So there we go. There's a Surf, no problem. Say goodbye to that Galarian Slowbro. And then we're waiting. Seeing what's going on. Here comes their Malamar. Sure enough, we're going to go ahead. We're going to use that shield. There it is. Say goodbye to their Malamar. And then here comes a Galarian Slowking. Like I said before, Malamar, and if you see the other one, like a Slowbro, you're going to probably see Slowking 9 times out of 10. So there we go. We got the attack break, which is huge. We're just going to do as much damage as possible. Trying to get that last one off doesn't work. But you know what? We have our Shadow Gardevoir coming in, and the best they can do is a Surf. And with their attack broken, it's just not going to do it. So there we go. Surf, and there's a win. So always be aware of that. That's why I like, fast move, really, really, really Pokemon like, Victory Bell, for example. If it has a lot of fast move pressure, a lot of fast move damage, you can get those little areas, last Pokemon they have in the yellow, you can bring it on out, and even though it's not super effective, you still can kill it and win, right? So there we go. They go ahead and they switch to, and I honestly thought it was Medicham, because always remember, upper right corner. Instead, it was the one Pokemon I have never seen in Psychic Cup, right? So yeah, that was a treat, right? Shadow Ball headed Victini's way. They shield, which is perfect for us. No problem. Go ahead, let them shield, let them do their thing. And you have to be really, really cautious. Its signature move, it can double stack it. But nowadays, what people will do is they will use Overheat and then their signature move, because Overheat does a ton of damage. Just absolute ton of damage. compared to, is it Vcreate or Vcrete? I'm guessing it has something to do with victory, right? Victory? I don't know, right? So there we go. Go ahead, throw the Scorching Sands, take poor Gardevoir out, and that's that. There's a victory and there's a win, and it's on to the next one. So here we go. Gonna take a little bit of time. But yeah, it's, you know, when I first started doing PvP, I really liked Ultra, and then I hated Great League, then I switched to Great League, and I still really like Great League, but I like doing a lot of these fun cups just because the meta isn't so, well, not necessarily the meta, but just people, how they play isn't so solidified, and you can kind of, you know, make tweaks, and you know, it's great. It's a lot of fun. And I figured, you know, I wanted to do Great League, but if you're winning, you know, a lot of battles, right, then why not stick with, you know, what you're doing good at. So we go ahead, we opt not to shield their Shadow Ball, and take note of that because we didn't die from that Shadow Ball, right? We were able to hang on and throw our own. So it's not like a Trev scenario where, you know, if they throw a Shadow Ball, you're done, right? You'll get yours off no matter what. And oftentimes they will shield, which is great because that's kind of what you want. You want them to get down to one shield, and from there, you're going to be looking really good. So there we go. They throw their victory, Vcreate, whatever, and then that's that. They're going to go ahead. They're going to do their thing. Let them do it. They're down to 0 shields. There's one. Go ahead. Let this one hit us. No problem. There's 2. It does a huge chunk of damage, but in the end, we're going to go ahead and get this foul play off, and without any shields, they are stranded, and that's that. We win, right? So always be aware of those little things, and always keep, you know, the higher up you get, the more often you'll see people really, you know, using strategy where, you know, you think their Pokemon's dead, they have a charge move, and then they might do this, and they might do that, and you have to really, really, really pay attention, and just go from there. So here we go. This lead right here, we will always get Scorching Sands off before they can get a triple axle. They do catch our move. They know what we're doing. They switch to Malamar. No problem. We are bringing out Gardevoir and making quick work of poor Malamar, right? So they bring out their Gardevoir. We're going to go ahead, and at this point, we're going to shield. There's a triple axle, and now it's their Claydol versus our Gardevoir, and we're looking really, really good. Not much they can do, right? Except for watch poor Claydol go down. So there we go. Throw in a Claydol of our own. No problem. Let it do its thing. Do whatever. Scorching Sands. Okay. Bring in. And that's that. And I believe this last battle of the day was actually a loss, but I wanted to include it because I did the whole set. But they did a really good job, and I actually thought they were using a Bruxish. Because, you know, you look in the upper right-hand corner, and you see, you know, the Psychic in the water. So I'm thinking Bruxish, but in reality, it is a just a regular old Slowbro. And so to them, salute them, because they did a really fantastic job. So there we go. We attempt, though. There's a Surf, and they get a second one off. And there we go. And now we just have to wait for a second, And a lot of this is just, you know, you're so used to fighting Galarian forms. I haven't seen a whole lot of people up until then with their normal counterparts. And so it became kind of tough. And so, yeah, they did a really good job. And they cost me my 5-0, right? I had to be 4-1, but that's okay. Everything worked out in the end. And we got to 2600. I believe this was a set that I got to Veteran on. And then everything from 25 to 2600 was pretty much just Victini leads and Alolan Raichu leads, which is pretty crazy. So there we go. And that's that. At this point, there's not much we can do. There we go. And yeah, it's over. We say goodbye to Malamar. And yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great and awesome rest of your day.